Some food for your ever loving thought. I think it's important that everybody starts to think for themselves as opposed to being stuck on the sensationalism of something. Okay. I just want you all to be grateful that you have a brain and that you're able to actually think think your way through things, think about stuff. It's important, man. You gotta can't just let somebody tell you something and you go get gaslit and you go run over there and go do something. Or somebody else over here tells you something, you go get gaslit and you run over there and do something. It's important that you think. And I want y'all to think really deep about your choices here in the future. Had a chance to look at a person who's also running for Bernalillo sheriff, and I started to think about it because he was a Democrat. He is a Democrat, and he's a lawmaker already for the county. And I just thought to myself, like, well, the laws have already not been working in people's favor, especially those self-defenders. So I think when somebody says that, now when I think of somebody who says they're a Democrat, and I think, oh, Biden crime bill, you support that. You support the racist Biden crime bill. Oh, okay. That's you can't help but just think and see that. Somebody says, oh, they're a Democrat, and they've been doing policy for years and years and years and years at a time, not really being too much of a constitutionalist, which is the future as well as the past. And it's not about the Constitution; it's what the Constitution represents. Represents those freedoms that you have, those natural freedoms, and those protection of those natural freedoms that the government is supposed to uphold. Not this. Let me make sure you get all this free stuff, but not really free because somebody else is really paying for it. And my house is fat and your house is not, which is what you notice about all the Democrats. I can go down the line. We can have a whole video conference and I can show you how many of these Democrats who are not, I'm not saying all Democrats are bad and all that. I'm just saying the basis of that party is based in corruption and based in racism and fear and violence. And let's just keep that real too. So when you think of somebody who's, you already kind of have a democratic rule of law going on where you are not allowed to defend yourself, where rioters are able to run free and damage your property or damage you, and you're not allowed to protect yourself because you get scrutinized for protecting yourself. Do you want to repeat of that is the question. Or do you want to or do you want to start something brand new, which is repeat of something old, which is your constitutional rights being defended and being upheld, so that way you are able to have your free speech. And it's funny because those on the other side don't realize that when we fight for free speech, we're fighting for all of us. So this is why I like to view myself as more of a libertarian. Yes, I will ride with the Republicans because we both back up constitutional laws with certain things, but I will call out corruption when I see it. Nobody's safe, okay? Nobody's safe from when you do wrong, okay? And you should be called out for it, me included, okay? And so, hey, leave in the comments below. Do you want a repeat of the old? Or do you want somebody new? See, I don't come from law enforcement, okay? I come from private security. I come from personal to person type of security where you have to be personal with somebody. I come from private security, being trained by intelligence network of people in which you know how to, look for certain things and operate certain levels, how to actually solve crime, how to actually catch people in the act of crime or with actual warrants, not just making criminals in the street. This is my background as a bounty hunter, as training with people in the intelligence community within private security. And this is what I aim to attribute to Bernalillo County. Meaning what exactly? Okay, meaning that when there's actually a criminal they're actually caught. None of this revolving door thing because of COVID. If they really do have COVID, they need to be they need to stay quarantined in jail, especially these child sex offenders. No more of this letting child sex offenders out type of thing. No, 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 no. And if they do have to get out and they do have to wear a mask, we get to know what they are, because there's no sense in a child sex offender who will probably commit the crime again, because scientists are saying they can't help but be pedophiles. So they need to have some kind of thing that reminds us or that warns us that they are a pedophile or a child sex offender. And that needs to be something. We need to be given some kind of transparency, or they need not be let out, or they need to be somewhere we don't have to deal with them. A lot of people have a lot of strong feelings about that. Me personally, my strong feeling is I don't think they should be let out. And I'll leave it. Leave it up to you. The rest is up in interpretation. Or I just don't think they should be let out. I don't think that type of illness should be allowed to be in a society where it is frowned upon, where it can victimize the young and lead them to a life of being suicidal. If you're not addressing that particular subject, if you're not looking at the future, and you're so busy, if you're more worried about identity than children, then you are probably not going to like a lot of things that me and a lot of truthers are going to say. You're probably not somebody with family values, and you're probably not going to like what brought you into existence, which was the idea of a family, which is why you exist in the first place. I'm not going to get into all of that, beliefs and things like that. Everybody has their free will to be what they want to be, their free speech to say how they want to say it, but just don't find yourself hindering somebody else's free speech, because then you are becoming a tyrant, petty or large. You're becoming a tyrant, parent or kid or whatever, whoever. If you're telling somebody they shouldn't say something, you're probably a petty tyrant on some level. And so it's unfortunate, because a lot of these people who are these petty tyrants, they have their kids. As kids, they were allowed to act out without any sense of discipline. They were told to just get time out and stuff. And it's funny, you see them counting like their parents would count at them when they were doing something wrong. They saw them counting at a counter protester who just wanted to walk through, and they were counting at them like their parents counted down. 1, 2, 3. Like, what? Like, what is that supposed to do? Like your parents should have disciplined you, but now you're getting benefits for acting out still. You used to act out as a kid. Now you're a grown kid. Now you're getting paid to act out even more. Great. Just what society needs: a bunch of kids acting out, just however they want to act. Screw everybody else's feelings. Just however they want to act out is okay. No truth behind anything they have to say. No validity or anything. You're just acting out. And so, is that really? Do you really think you have a future of just acting out? You really think that's going to translate well when you're in your 60s or in your 40s and you just act out however you want and just say what you want? And there's even some people like that who are allowed to live into their 40s and 50s to just act out however they want without no consequence to anybody else around them. They just say what they want, do what they want, and that's it. And that's the end of it. Screw everybody else's opinions of them, because they're told they can do no wrong. And it's funny, because I'm not trying to also shame anybody here when I say this. I just noticed a certain dynamic of people who were led to act out, who didn't have maybe a strong male figure in the home who could have helped navigate them through some things better, like avoiding trouble and avoiding police and avoiding the wrong crowd. A lot of that didn't happen because you have a lot of those crime bill recipients who didn't necessarily get a chance to hang out with their kids. And so their kids are just acting out. Their kids just act out without any hard hand of just like parental authority from a male, that says, hey, you need to stop doing that. I'm not saying women couldn't do it too, but it's a little different when another man doesn't have to necessarily strike you, just has to give you a look and just has to say something to you, and then you kind of get it. And so you know right and wrong off top. And so you don't have a bunch of, then it becomes harder for you to become a paid protester or rioter because, you felt this energy of authority early in life, you know. If you never felt it, you don't believe in it. So when somebody decides to snatch and grab you out and put you in jail, all of a sudden they're the bad guy because they're taking care of business. They're disciplining you for your acting out. And that's for the most of the people who are in jail, people who act out. When I was a bounty hunter, those people I picked up because they got in trouble for acting out some kind of way, either some kind of murderous way, some kind of aggressive assault or theft. And they acted out that just didn't translate well with the law or with society. And somebody called the police and then they got arrested and then they got out and then they were out. And so they didn't want to make their court dates. And then I showed up with my guys and we just, hey, that's the business, man. You're accountable for the things you do. We all have to be on one level or another. And so if you're going to act out, be prepared to be acted upon. Sorry, you don't have to like it, but I bet the majority of people who are making a living on their own, who are independent business owners or independent business operators or independently wealthy, will appreciate the fact that they are left alone to have their peace and have their business and have their way of life left alone. Not necessarily, saying protesting is wrong. Protesting, if you're really protesting, then protest. Protest the police, protest in front of the police station. Okay. People driving up and down the highway ain't got nothing to do with you protest. They don't got nothing to do with that. What? And then you're hurting black folks and you're supposed to be BLM. Huh? How do you do that? How do you live with yourself? Y'all gonna help Donald Trump get elected. I'm just gonna keep it real. Your mayors who are allowing you to riot and your governors who are allowing you to riot and to not protect yourself, you're gonna help the president get reelected. I'm just gonna let you know. He don't even have to campaign that hard. He's gonna let y'all just continue to run your cities into the damn ground. Go ahead. What else is there to do? I mean, other than make it impossible for you to vote, that's about it. You just make it harder for people to vote, or you do some mail-in thing that can be frauded out pretty easily. So, what's up? So, hey, not to point the finger and say, hey, Dems is evil, but lots of Dems is evil, okay? And I'm not with it, and neither should you. If you call for somebody else's rights to be taken, then you call for your own rights to be taken. This is why I'm a constitutionalist, okay? And big shout out to my homie Tomas Cervantes for hooking me up with my tri-corner hat, because as a constitutionalist, this is the kind of hat that I like to wear. It looks kind of Western on certain angles, but then I turn to the side and you're like, what? You see the top of it. You're like, what? It's kind of big up top. I got a big old head, so I ain't really grown into it all the way yet, but I'm getting there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being awake. Thank you for your comments, negatives and positives. Excuse me if I haven't had enough time to get to the comments below. If there are some there, I haven't been getting my notifications. Facebook has not allowed me to log back in, as opposed to putting me in Facebook jail. YouTube does not give me my notifications if you're giving me comments. So what can I do? Let that too be proof to you too, if you want to be so keen and smart. If I am saying something wrong, or if I am being out of line, then why violate my free speech, even passively? You should let me just look like a buffoon. if I'm saying something that's going to make me look stupid, you should just let me look stupid. You shouldn't take it upon yourself to block what I'm saying unless you're scared of what I'm saying. Either way, hey, change is coming. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for being a long video, but hey, we love what we do. And I love you. See you in November, and see you next year.